Cool. So today is March 2nd, 2026, and my name is Mini Burner, and this is the first episode, or episode 0 of the Building Hour. And today I'm going to do a base review. I don't have a base picked, or I don't have another person's base picked out, but today we are going to review the base that I'm about to release that I'm really excited about because I want to get some practice at reviewing bases live. This is the first stream I've ever run and the first time I'm reviewing a base, and so I think it'll be a great place to start. So let's see. Can we? Yeah, I'm on the right tab. Okay, cool. So let me get the base loaded up and I will talk about it as I do that. Loads. Okay, hopefully this is the right save and it worked. Builder Sanctuary has been struggling a little bit this week. I've mentioned it before, but anyhow. Great. So today I'm doing a base review, which in my mind, it's kind of taking a look at a base, seeing what's good about the base, seeing what could maybe be improved or some directions that the base could go in to make it suit the job that it's trying to do or suit the role that it's trying to do better. And just kind of, yeah, like nerd out about building because that's what I like to do. um, and so today we're looking at the Gram, which is my solo duo trio base that I'm just wrapping up and designing. It's designed to be a very efficient offline raid base, and so the goal behind it is to be very cheap, so that a solo could farm for it on vanilla without spending their entire life or being unemployed just for that one wipe. I wanted it to be something that you could come home after work, make dinner, and then play Rust and build this base in a day or two. So it needed to be really cheap. And then it also needs to be strong for offline raids. I very rarely get to play an online raid. Um, now, I've actually I've been able to catch one online raid with this base, and as a group, the people I played with, we've actually gotten two online raids in the last 2 weeks. It's switching server. We used to play on Rusticated US Trio, the premium server, and that server, the PvP is so intense. Like the worst player on the server was probably me, but the next worst player was like a 5,000 hour Chad Sweatlord. Like, you show up outside, you are getting triple MP5'd in the first 2 hours of wipe. Like, that server is so hard to play on. But we switched to, I believe, Reddit Small, and on there are actually some groups, and the problem with Rusticated as a trio server is the groups weren't large enough to actually online raid. They never had the cash to be able to, or the sulfur to be able to do that. But on a uncapped server, you actually get some onlines. But that's all to say that this base is optimized for offline raids. Wow, I really need to not rant for 5 minutes on a random topic before getting into it. But yeah, so it's offline raid and trio base, cheap, whatever. And now the first thing I wanted to talk about is that whenever you're giving feedback, and this goes to anything, like it could be to Rust building, it could be to, like your friend sends you a piece of writing, or like, I don't know, if you're in school and you're doing an assignment or anything. If you're giving feedback, most people jump right to like solutions. Like, they see, okay, this is wrong or this is bad and this needs to be fixed. Or they might be trying to be nice about it and they're like, this didn't really work, you should do this instead. And two things. First, I think it's really important that whenever you're giving feedback, you find something good first. Like, often when you're giving feedback on something, it's something that somebody has put a lot of time and effort into, and like they worked really hard on a thing, and so if you just immediately jump to, oh, what needs to be better right now, that can really suck. And so all like no matter what, it's just so nice if you're able to find something nice. And in all of my base reviews, I'm going to try and find three good things about any base I review, even if it's, you know, if it's a 2x1, no. But anything more than like just a basic 2x1 starter, like any base that's been designed, I'll always try to find three good things about the base, because I think it's a good skill to identify something good and then give feedback on that so that the person gets both the good and the bad. And then on the feedback side, I think it's really important to mention maybe what you think isn't working first, so that they understand where it's coming from, and then mention what your solution might be, or your idea for a next direction. Because if you just immediately jump to the solution, it's not always clear what you're trying to fix. Um, so it's like, if you're like, oh, I think you should add a shield wall to the compound, the actual reason is, well, I think it's too open. And so a person might not like shield walls in their bases just because, they don't like them. Um, but when they hear that, oh, the compound is too open, they can then figure out other ways to close off the compound. And so that's all I want to say before I get into it. And now, this is the Gram. The Gram, I went with this three-sided symmetry base, and so we've got 4 tool cupboards in total. It uses wall stacking to attach these. I guess I should show the footprint first, because it's always really helpful to look at the footprint. And of course, I do not remember how you wipe to foundations in the new... Oh, you go to features, wipe to foundation. Okay, yeah, perfect. And let me get a gun out. I like to point. No, I want the SKS. SKS is way more fun. What's your favorite guns in Rust? If you have any questions, I'll look over and try and answer your questions. If I maybe skip something, or if I say anything that doesn't make sense, call me out on it. But okay, so this is the foundation, or the footprint I went with in the Gram. And so it's I call it the Ninja Star. Let's see, start. That's the central foundation, and so you get it's like a Dorito, but then the TC is offset into one of these. And I've tried some Dorito bases. Let's see. I forget what base it was. Was it the Sierpinski? I think it was the yeah, it was the Sierpinski. I went with the Dorito, and used kind of there was an Evil Worst base that used a very similar footprint, but the Dorito, the starter, just really doesn't feel good. And honestly, I haven't really had any triangle starters that I like playing out of. It's a little too cramped, and it's hard to get storage in. But the nice thing about the Ninja Star is it's a really good starter. For the starter, I usually go with this kind of thing. I leave this one triangle open, and I put the door here. And then once I want to expand, I put these walls in and build the jump up and go on like that. But it's really easy to get the starter down, and it's similar to a 2x1, but you're able to add some extra doors in, so you can get a decent door path right off the rip. But I got the idea to use this this starter from one of Ninny Rust's builds, where she used this Ninja Star footprint with it, but her bunkers were on the first floor, and they were triple honeycombed, which that's wild. Triple honeycombing bunkers. I don't understand why. I don't see the scenario in where I would want my bunkers on the first floor where the core is and then honeycombed, because then raiders are incentivized to blow into the bunkers to get to the core. Like if the bunkers are wrapped around the core, then the best way to raid is just straight through the bunker. You get all the loot, raid the core, and then you can splash the other two bunkers from within the core. And maybe it's really good in online raid settings. I'm usually designing for offline raids, so maybe that's where it would be good. But I don't know where I would want to see that. But so yeah, this Ninja Star, it's been a lot of fun to work with. And then the bunkers, they are on the third floor, and it's just a standard wall stacked bunker like that. And what you'll see is that each one of these externals is around the same size as this center triangle. So like this center triangle is the main TC. And then each one of the externals is these, those foundations right there. And so the split between the main TC and the external TCs is almost identical. If you look at the entities, it's like 177 entities for the externals and like 185 for the main TC. But yeah, so I'm gonna load up the base, and then I'll look for 3 things I really like about it. I'll try and be from a neutral perspective, and then 3 things that maybe I could work on with the base, or improve. It's hard to say improve, because Rust base is like, you have a goal for your wipe. Like sometimes it's like you are going to play nonstop for 2 days and then you're done. So like in that scenario, like a base for online raid is better. Or like sometimes you want to play in the deep sea and you don't want to spend a lot of time on your base, so there's a lot of different things you can do with your bases, and so it's not always a better or worse. But okay, so this base has a double door, single door airlock heading into the gatehouse. Gatehouse has some good peeks back into the compound. I like it so far. If someone broke that open, yeah, it's a really quite good angle back onto raiders. I believe so, because I know the design. There's supposed to be boxes or triangle planter here. It looks like a lot of the deployables are not registering, but let's see. Section off compound. This is neat. The mobility is a little awkward in the compound, but that can be a good and a bad thing. Coming down into the core, vending machine bunker. I always love a vending machine bunker. If you see my designs, or if you're familiar with them, I use them on almost every single base that has a triangle in the... Like, if I can put a triangle in the core starter unit, there will be the TC there, and there will be a vending machine bunker. I don't see why you wouldn't use one. It's 13 extra rockets to get to the TC no matter what. Like, 13 extra rockets is a lot for doing, what is it, like 40 high qual? Like, yeah, that's 2 military crates. I'm doing that every single time. Yeah, the old MP5 was awesome. I never got good enough with it, though. I just got tripled. Yeah. And so, let's see. The second floor is cool. This is all deployable space. This is a hidden locker. I like a good hidden locker. This does have the added benefit of, because I designed this one, it's acting as extra, what's the word? Like, not quite a pancake, but a pancake for the TC. Basically, it just makes it so you can't, splash this triangle foundation and get to the TC and all the loot. You have to go, one at a time through here. And then we'll go up to the third floor. This is also the shooting floor. Let's see, that broke. Don't mind me. Okay, nice angles. Some loot spot. These are the bunkers, which look like they've broken a little bit, or I just never saved it. Builder Sanctuary has been struggling. I love the server. I'll never use any other build server. But in they're working out some growing pains right now. Got downwards angles on all three sides, and then some further out angles. And you can shoot through all of these, which is good. I love a good roof retake. Is the shooting too loud? I don't actually know how to fix that, so I really have no business asking, but hopefully it's not too loud and I'm not killing your ears. Downwards angle. That's cool. You can fall out of this one. And up on the roof. Got some auto turrets. Some long-range angles. Nice visibility up here. I like how cozy this roof feels. Like, I feel like you could just put mixing tables up here and cook gunpowder and nobody will do anything to you. Okay. Yeah, in the future I might try and add like a compression or something. That helps in YouTube when there's gun sounds in the... I've honestly tried to stop shooting in anything that I'm recording, but it's just so like... I just like clicking it. It's fun. But yeah, the shooting is so loud that... maybe? No, I'm afraid if I turn down the gun sounds, I won't be able to hear footsteps as well. I don't know if they're actually in the same tab. Okay. So, yeah, that was kind of a little bit of a lousy tour. I'll make sure to do... Like, when I'm actually looking at a base for the first time, I'll be really excited. Speaking of, I found a base last night. I was just scrolling through the Builder Sanctuary public page, and it was really, really, really cool, and it was so much fun to look around, and I might try to find that base after I finish talking about the Graham. But today I recorded the build video for this, and I've given the tour 6 times, so... I'm a little tired of giving the tour. I probably shouldn't have picked it for this, but anyhow. So yeah, basically my review of the base, and I'll show the directions or the feedback as I'm going once I get there. So things I really like about it. The upkeep is fantastic. Having the TCs equally split and all of them below that 200 entity threshold, like... you can't beat the upkeep on this base. The second thing I really like about it is it's a topic I've never heard anyone talk about before, and I want to do a video on it. Time to react. And so basically, you're on the you're in your like main living space. Maybe you're crafting some stuff. You know, you're not AFK, but you know, you're just hanging out doing base stuff. One of your buddies is out farming. And then all of a sudden there's gunshots. How quickly can you get a sight line to your teammate? That's what I mean by time to react. And in this base, the time to react is so fast. So the wipe we just played and built this base, this came in. This was so handy because we had a road. Maybe I can open MS Paint. Let's get the MS Paint out. Okay, and then what do? I go here. Sweet, okay. Alright, so this is... Where's our triangle? Okay, so this is our base. And then, so there was a dirt road that ran along. Let's get this pixel size up. There was a dirt road that ran along here, and then it turned into kind of a road this way. There was a river, and then a bridge that crossed it, and the river kind of went like this. And then there was some forest here, and then this was the coastline. So it was a really awesome base location. But what was so important here is that, like, I would be in the base. I was in the base all the wipe day, and then like they would be out farming along this road or nodes or whatever, and then they would get into a gunfight. And because the time to react was so fast in the base, like if they were fighting over here, I could just run over to this side and immediately peek, and I was able to participate in the fights from the base without just sitting on the roof and camping. Oh, sorry, I gotta switch scenes back. I'll get better at that. So yeah, like I would be in the base, and then I could just run over and immediately join in from this peak right here. You can't see all of the base from this peak, but if you can't get the other side, you can just hop up here, and now you can get to the other sides. And because you can hear the direction of where people are shooting, it's really easy to navigate to the right side of the base. And so the time to react is something I really, really, really like about this base. And then the last thing I like about this base, I mentioned it when I was giving the tour, is just how cozy. I mean, the roof is, but also the entire base. Like, some bases are just so big, and there's like sections of the base that never feel lived in. Like, whenever I make a 4-story base, like where you have your standard core on floor 1, floor 2 is like a pass-through layer, floor 3 I always do as main living, because I like to separate the core from the main living, and then floor 4 is floor 4 floor 4 is where I like to put the shooting floor, usually, and then the roof is the 5th floor or whatever. In this base, I wanted to cut down cost because I always end up having like kind of an empty 2nd floor and kind of an empty 4th floor. And I wanted bedrooms, and this is like an all triangle kind of center. And so bedrooms on triangles suck. Don't do them. And so to get the squares, I had to come out kind of wide, and so this is a really sprawling base. Like, for a trio, this is a really wide base in my opinion. Usually I would go more vertical, but I really like it. The only thing I don't like, and this is starting to get into the things I would potentially change, I don't know if there's a way for me to change it without making an entirely different base, but the first thing that I don't love is I don't love how close to the ground I am from these peaks. So you can see that that's actually not that far of a distance for a raider to shoot. Like, it's not that big of a difference, but the difference between there and difficulty of headshotting is it's kind of big. And so there were a couple of times where I tried to peek from here, and I just got demolished by the raiders. It worked out because with the bedrooms, one of my teammates was able to take a better angle from up on the roof. It was kind of higher, and then I was able to play from inside the base and seal the wall and kill them through the hole in the wall. But I died a couple of times taking this peek, and I would have thought that this was like, a 75-25 fight. Granted, it was a 5-man that was raiding us, so they had enough people that they could just stare at the peaks. And, this base isn't very big, so they've got 1 option, 2, 3, 4. That one is much harder to play from. So, like, I think if you're making a choice, play from one of these 2 bedrooms rather than this open one. I think this open one, maybe it doesn't have to be a peak, but I really like it because you can just get to it so quick, and there would be kind of a dead zone, like right around here. I guess the bed. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, so the one thing I don't love, or the first thing I don't love, is how low this peak is, but I'm not sure there's a way I would change that. The second thing is right next door. For a while, this was a double roof. What's it called? One of those peaks where you've got the two roof, you've got this like frame, and you've got the two triangle roof tiles with the door like this, and you can kind of step out and you won't fall through, even if you swap it to like Brutalist. You know, one of those peaks. I love those peaks. But I wanted to add some honeycomb to the bunker so that it could be two walls to raid it, like so that the bunker could be honeycombed from the sides, since people really like to blow. Every time I've been raided so far, they just blow right into the side over here and try and splash the first two floors, which is perfect. It's best case scenario for us as the base owner, but this base doesn't have any quick mobility to its shooting floor, so I don't think it's a huge issue because, like, it's such a short path to just jump up. Like, if I added dedicated mobility, I don't think it would be really any faster. But it would be nice, and I think maybe I could do something like, I can't build in this area. I would get this foundation right here. I would have to build that over because this is where the different externals are meeting. I can wrap this around. Actually, let's see if I can just do that. One more. Too close to... Okay, it might not work, but what I could do is something like that, but then I lose the peak, but I could add ladders, or I could just add ladders straight up. I don't like adding mobility like this because it gives something for raiders to play off of, and I think it's really hard to make this jump, and you might get baited into trying to do this jump in a raid. Yeah, so I would want to get rid of that peak entirely if I went with something like that. But I think it's important to have that... let's go on the other side where I didn't break it. I think it's important to have a good downward angle into your compound. I guess I broke... Oh, do I have symmetry on? Oh, I have symmetry on. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's important to have a downward angle for close onto your base. And I do like that you can drop down and quickly get the rockets, so... I think there's an angle for making this base better by adding some direct route back up, like a reverse waterfall, but I'm not sure how to do it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm conflicted because it's so quick to get back up, or to hop into the long gatehouse. This is kind of a gimme, and it's because I'm a creature of habit, but I love just this basic external on the base. It's not disconnectable. It really should be, especially in a base that's designed to get raided. You expect to have to replace your TC, and so I should go with a disconnectable design, but I went with this design. I explain it a little bit in the build video, but I really like not needing to spend metal at the start of a wipe. I am always metal strapped in for honestly the entire first day, but especially the first 3 hours. And with this build, if I go back to foundation, the starter unit, before you want to add onto... Actually, I'll just wipe it because it's so quick to build the starter. The starter unit, where you get to the point where you want to build the externals, is not that big. And so if you're playing in a trio, or like we did this last wipe, a 6-man out of this base, you're going to want to put down your externals early, and a lot of external designs require windows and garage doors to be more than a single rocket raid. And when I've gone with those designs, I've been raided in the first 4 hours, and they just plink one rocket to each one of those 9 Explo, and now they have all 3 externals for 3 rockets, and that doesn't feel very good. That's not really the point of external TCs. And so, you know, sorry, not this one. These will be like your loot rooms, or like extra storage at the start. And this is kind of where you don't even need this honeycomb. But this is kind of where the starter will be when you want to start doing your multi-TC. And so it's really early. You get this in the first like 30 minutes. And so you're only going to be an hour or 2 into wipe when you're putting down your externals and claiming the build area, which I think is a good thing. You don't want people moving in, but yeah. I forget where I was going with that. Oh yeah, but so that's why I like that type of external, but the ability to be able to easily replace the ability to be able to just disconnect something with like a roof ramp or the other benefit of these ones is you can't soft side any of it. Like, you could be a jerk and soft side that out, but you're not going to do anything by soft siding that. And as long as the terrain isn't awful, that's something to note, is if you're building this on really bad terrain, people could soft side that out and maybe get in. That's why I like to secure this behind a window as well. So at least it's not like they get the TC. But people aren't going to soft side stuff at the starter wipe. That's like a overnight degenerate thing. But yeah, that is the first base review I am doing today. And yeah, I can't decide. Should I do the second base review? Because I want to find that base that I was really excited about and just kind of go over that. Should I do that separate, like finish the episode first of the building hour, or do it as part of the episode and kind of have it be a 2 review type thing? What do you guys think? I think we're at like 35 minutes, so I'm okay either way. I had approved either way, or do the second one. I guess I'll try and find it first, and if I don't end up doing it, you'll never see any of this, YouTube. But if I do find it, I may still cut this middle part out where I'm waffling. Let's see. I'll go to base browser. Also, if you ever put your base public, everyone can find it here. Let's see. I bet there's no way I find this. There's too many bases. Maybe I just find one that looks... It was called Circle, I think. It wasn't a circle at all. I'm looking at the prices. It was like... I thought it was by a guy at Connor. Ah, this one. Oh yeah, I forgot. I wrote down the SANC code. But I'm gonna load this because I thought this base was really cool. Um, yeah, so they went with... Yeah, this is one of the disconnectable designs I should explore. They're so beefy, but yeah, that's so cool. Ugh, it makes me sad that I don't just press X now, but yeah, so that disconnects. You put that, and then you put the door frame over it. Or do you even put the door frame? No, the door frame stays. And you really want to do this. Okay. So you put that there. That gives stability. How do you... Does the door frame... Am I missing something? Is there another step to this? I thought you just... Maybe you add that and then you remove it. No. I don't know. Let's check this one. Yeah, it's just... I wonder if they changed stability since this base was designed or saved. Oh yeah, so... They've got a nice little furnace wall, seawall. There's a little pet peeve of mine. Everyone keeps calling it a seawall. Like, they type out sea and then wall. It's a seawall, like SEA wall. Because that's what blocks the waves when the wave... Like, it's a seawall. It's not a letter C wall. Anyhow, yeah, so they've got a seawall, which I think is pretty cool. Do they have... I didn't check to see if they had waterfalls. It doesn't look like they have waterfalls. So, like, I think in a base this big, you absolutely need waterfalls. Maybe they're planning on adding those in. Oh, they need a foundation in the middle as temporary support. Ah, thank you. You learn something new every day. Where was I? Oh yeah, I feel like in a base this big, you absolutely need to have, oh man, did they use the... Oh, they're doing this thing. You can't shoot through it, but that's so busted because you can see through it and then peek through here. Like, spot someone. Also, I think that's crazy that you, like, it's that open, but you can't shoot through it. And I like that it distracts your eye from this, this roof retake, or this one-way. I like that you can get up close so that you can see this right side, but the only thing I don't like is it's not actually a one-way. If my sanctuary works. I'm trying to no-clip. Yeah, because they can actually just shoot you through it. You might be able to... Yeah, if you step back... Oh, my game is bugging. Yeah, but if you... So, I guess if I were them, the first thing I would try to rework is make this into an actual one-way. Because this is... I think there's opportunity for a really cool one-way retake onto the roof. And right now, it's just kind of a like an ankle biter. But... yeah, so something they do that's so weird, they put the TC right here. Like, if anyone knows that your TC is right here, it's 20 rockets. You know, or even less. Like, if I go 7 and then 3 and then 3. So, like 13 rockets, so... Yeah, I don't know. So I personally wouldn't put my TC there. I'm all for the meta of like living up high and clearing your stuff out of down low, but I'm not sure I would put my TC up there. I think they move it from here. Like, why not just leave it vending machine bunkered? Like, you've got externals, so I think that's safer, personally. Let's see. This is an entryway. Is this a bunker right here? Oh, you can't connect. Oh, it's supposed to be bunkered, but you can't open it because you would connect to buildings with cupboards. Oh, is it a YouTube base? That's a little less exciting if I'm reviewing a YouTube base, but it makes sense. This actually reminds me a lot of the drop-down that Ninny used in the base that inspired the Graham, which was, I forget what that base was called. It's the one that uses the Ninja Star, but it had the bunkers on the first floor, and it used this, like, speaking of when the armored ladder hatches come out, I think these bases will be better, because then you can armored ladder hatch, and that's really cool. But, yeah, it uses this, like, you open the bunker from down here, but I don't know how you're supposed to open the bunker, because it's going to connect two cupboards together, and I don't think that's supposed to happen. Try and go below the hatch frame. Oh! I see. Got it. Okay, and so it looks like kind of like an open core concept. My brain doesn't like the asymmetry of it, but I'm sure with boxes it looks better. Kind of, you have some retake angles back into it. It's nice and compact. Ooh, I don't like this jump. I can do it, but I don't like having that jump with the floor right here. One of the people I play with, they only have like 300 hours in the game, and if I put that jump in the base, they are never getting to this floor of the base. Sorry, Lexi. Yeah, but yeah, so I don't know. And then, so I love these peaks, but you know, like how too much of a good thing is not always a good thing. I think we're getting into that territory here with these. It's just like, okay, I can see down there and I can see down there, but maybe I want a different peak because I can see down from right here. So I don't need this giant downwards angle, and so I think a reverse waterfall or something right here would be pretty good to have. You could even, like, I think I probably wouldn't do that in today, Rust, but like you could do something where you bump it out. It would make those peaks worse, but you could bump it out and have this be like a reverse waterfall up into the shooting floor, and then have kind of like a, I can't build that there, but I could do some kind of like door peak here and crush that in, but that's starting to make some serious structural changes. So I guess what I mean is that I really want a reverse waterfall in this base because it is so tall. It is a very tall base, and it is a large base. And if I jump down from the top, one, I might die. It'd be very close. I would probably try and clip some of those foundation, or sorry, the wall frames. But two, there's no quick way back up, so I think that's a downside. Let's see, I think the compound is really cool. I like the compound. I like this. Like, it's just so cool to have these like big tower units. I love bases that are like castles. So like whenever you got these like these bump outs with all the windows, then you keep going up and there's more bump outs, and I really like this roof. Whoever designed this roof is good at designing roofs, and this bedroom's cool. I wonder if they could get... Oh no, there's no stability. They could build that all the way up, and then add that if they wanted. I don't know if I love the idea of just being able to get blasted by a... Like, if somebody built a fob over here, they could just kill you when you respawn in that bedroom. So I'd either make that glass a solid wall or fob protect it. Just like that. That's kind of awkward, and it might cover up... Yeah, it kind of covers up... No, you can still see down. Because you're not going to take far angles, I don't think, with this. I mean, you might, but just take the far angle from here if you have that protection. Oh, it is Ninny's base? That's funny. I thought that bunker opening looked like the one. Okay. Well, so yeah, I guess... Yeah, I would want a waterfall on this. And then I would want to make this into... I don't know what I would do, but I want to make it so that it's a proper one-way rather than just a ankle biter. I wonder... There's not actually room for this. There would have to be some redesign to the setup of the floor, but like if there was a way to work this in and actually use it, that would be... Oh, it's because the embrasures aren't there. I was wondering why it looked so open. Get that there, get that there. Yeah, so like I would still have decent vision over both sides from here. And then the raider can't see me except for right there. And so I would want to try and do something like this. Maybe not even use this part as your roof access. Like maybe you could get roof access through somewhere else. I don't know where else. Maybe if you got rid of this peak, you could use this as like a roof access. I don't know. Something like that. So yeah, I would add a reverse waterfall. I would try to explore turning that into a one-way. And then, let's see, are there any bunkers up here? I think the bunkers are just down in the core. So like that, though. Oh, wait. Did I misspeak? Is that a bunker? How do you get to that? How do you get to that? I didn't change this, did I? Here, how do you get to you? I cannot figure it out. Oh, you just removed the embrasure. Oh, that's really good. Oh, and yeah, if you just... Okay. Man, I gotta write this down. See, you learn so much from looking at other people's bases. Yeah, so I guess it's not a bunker. And so I can say what I was going to say, which is, I want the bunkers... Although, with the TC up at the top, the bunkers on the first floor make sense. But I don't love the TC at the top. So yeah, that's just a builder thing. Like, I guess like I care more about my loot than I do the TC, especially if you're doing uh the type of externals where you can just detach it and replace your TC. And so, especially in a base with only 3 of them. But anyhow, people usually raid right here, right into the core, you know. And so if they're going to get either my TC or my loot, I want them to get my TC. I don't want them to get my loot, because my base has another, I try to get 25 rockets worth of grief protection. And so if they spend 30 to 40 raiding the TC, and then I just hope that they don't have 25 more rockets that they want to spend on the externals instead of looking for loot. And so if I put storage on the first floor, that's going to get raided. Whereas if I put the storage up high, raiders have to make the decision that they're going to blow high. And I feel like not many raiders make that decision. So I think it's better to put your TC down low and your storage up high and split them. But, that's my read of optimal building right now. I may come to change my mind on that, but that's where I am for now. And so yeah, that's about all I have for today. And this was episode 0 of the Building Hour. My name's Mini Burner, and I'm just gonna wrap up and chill on stream for a little bit. But I hope to catch you in the next one, and thank you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, otherwise, I'm just gonna keep going.